Hey, I'm Ken. Welcome to Stock Market Unfiltered, where we take a candid / funny look at the stock market. Try to be educational. Hopefully we are. Sometimes we are. Maybe sometimes we're not. Sometimes we just look at a bunch of squirrels and try to be entertaining. Man, it's what I call total chaos all week long. I told you they were going to start talking about the debt ceiling limit. They've talked about it every day so far this week. And by the way, happy Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. And we're only halfway through the chaos. Oh, we got about 35 more minutes before the market closes. It's done remarkably well to come back. It's minus the Dow is minus 8 points. The NASDAQ plus 150. The S&P 500 is plus 25. But it goes to my point that I've told you to never buy something between 9:30 and 10. You can sell something if it goes up, but I never buy anything. It's like this morning after the CPI number, and we'll talk about it in just a second. But the stock market was like around minus 45, or when I say stock market, I know about the Dow. It was minus 45, and it went all the way up to 200 plus points. I think it like got up to 210 points plus. Then about 10 o'clock, started going down, and eventually went all the way down to minus 300 plus points for the Dow. And it's come all the way back to, like I said, only minus 8. So it's interesting how that played out today. Thought it was going to be a bang up payday day, the way it started off, because the CPI numbers were light. Looked like inflation was easing a little bit. The regular CPI, month over month, they expected 0.4% increase. And that's exactly what they got, a 0.4% increase. The core CPI, which is taking out food and energy for year over year, this would become last year at this time to this year at this time, it was 5.5%. And they expected 5.5%. So that was pretty good. Then the annual inflation numbers they revealed was 4.9%. That's the annual inflation rate at the current moment, 4.9 versus what they thought would be 5%. And that 4.9, believe it or not, inflation, is the lowest in 2 years. 4.9% inflation rate, lowest in 2 years. So that sent the stock market on a frenzy, going up and doing pretty good. And now the Dow is down 91 points. See, just like that, it doesn't take long. Who knows what's going on, why it's down that much now? Because, yeah, I mean, it's 30 minutes left in the trade day. You never know. Now since the Dow's minus 23. So just like we're going from minus 8 to minus 90 to minus 23. NASDAQ still 145. S&P 500, 23. So it's still looks like it's going to be a chaotic end of the day also. But the S&P 500 just being up like 23 points, and the reason why the NASDAQ's up so high, it's just a few stocks. I can guarantee you that. I looked at it, and we talked about this on my program, about how 4 or 5 of the top stocks, they got $2 trillion market cap. Some of them got $1 trillion market cap, and they can move the market. That's what's happening today. Amazon is up $3.90 to $110.52. And Microsoft is up $5.70. Google is up $4.81. Apple up $1.86. So if you take Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, it's 4 of them. I didn't pull up NVIDIA. That's why the S&P 500 is up, and why the NASDAQ is up so big. And NVIDIA was the other one. Let's see what it's doing today. And NVIDIA is up $3.48. That's not really a real-time quote, really. But the point is, it's still up. So there we go. You get a real-time quote now. $289.62, up $3.91. So when you add those five, that's why the NASDAQ is up 147 points. NVIDIA, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple. They can move the market. So back to the debt ceiling they've been talking about. Between the recession and the debt ceiling, they can't figure out which one's worse. I think they've about decided the debt ceiling for the U.S. government is the Grim Reaper. Janet Yellen was on there today saying, we got to get this approved. There's like only I don't know, 15 days left. Trading days, or days that the Congress might be working to get this debt ceiling crisis fixed. And it's just like you got one side not wanting to budge, the other side doesn't want to budge. They're in a stalemate, kind of like chess. But like I said, the debt ceiling is the big topic. Janet Yellen's going on about this economic chaos, crisis. What's going to happen if they don't do this? And here's her interpretation. What's going to happen if it don't pass and then the debt ceiling gets reached? This is what'll happen. First of all, we couldn't make payments. This is the U.S. We could not make payments on our interest that's due, on our debt that we owe. So it's like if you borrowed $10 billion and you got an interest payment due of $500,000 and you can't pay it, that's a default. That's what they're talking about. Second of all, even though it's pitiful, the Social Security checks would be delayed for millions and millions of Americans. That's number two. The third thing that would happen, Medicaid, the work that the providers do for Medicaid, they wouldn't get paid. So then it would just be a snowball effect. Millions of people would probably be unemployed for a little while, and it would send the banks into financial chaos and everything else that you can think of in the economy and run it in the tank. Yeah, that's what would happen. So that's what's going on this week. And there's not much news going on. I mean, there was like Airbnb, for example, reported earnings that blew out everything, but then they lowered their guidance and the stock tumbled like 15% today after they lowered the guidance in after hours yesterday. But there were some good performers yesterday, and we'll see what happens to Disney today. Disney reports today after hours, and let's see how they do. Yeah, that's a big company, and they just got a new CEO, Bob Iger. He actually used to be the CEO, and they hired another one. They got rid of him, and Bob Iger came back in and took over. So we'll see if he can get anything done. There's a lot going on with Disney. It's got 3 buys on it and 4 neutrals and hold. So the price target, average price target, is $120.79. That'd be about a $19 move from where it's at now. And just going back on some of these stocks that are up big today, Google for one, which is up 485 now, but it's up. They're having an AI conference out there somewhere out west. They've been reporting on this, so that stock's been going up ever since they talked about it. Its market cap is $1.4 trillion for Google. Yeah. So they've released their, kind of like Microsoft's Chat GPT. They call it BARD or something, B-A-R-D-E. That's their artificial intelligence. So they've released it to everybody on Google now. If you have a Google account, you're supposed to be able to go. I tried it, wouldn't let me on. It said I had to wait. So I'm on their list, but it said, I don't know when this is going to start, maybe tomorrow or something, but they released it to everybody that you can go onto the BARD, which is on the Google platform, and get your AI stuff. You can maybe get it to print you off a report on Abraham Lincoln. Or maybe you can get it to print off a report on the U.S. economy. It'd be nice if it knew what the stocks were going to do. I'd have to print off, give me a month-long list of stocks you think are going to be good. I wonder if it'll do that. And then Wendy's I think it's in their, I don't know where their corporate headquarters is, but somewhere in one of their corporate stores. They are going to put out on June the 1st, which is coming up soon, about like the debt ceiling for the U.S. government, AI at their drive-through, so you won't be talking to a human. There'll be an AI asking you about your order. Would you like to supersize that? Can you imagine an AI talking to you? I wonder what kind of voice it's going to have. Well, it'll be like Alexa's voice. I hope it doesn't talk in like some foreign language that I don't understand. Like, huh? Oh, me. So, 3M, they report earnings, and I said, you know, that it might be dangerous to buy it if you can stomach it. I started to buy it today, but I didn't. It did reach a 52-week low today. It was down to $99.60, which eclipsed the previous low of $100.16. Currently clawed its way back to being plus 7 cents at $100.87. So, you know, I'm still waiting on it. If I buy it, I would buy it in the next 2 or 3 days, probably, if it goes down, because they did announce a quarterly dividend of $1.50 a share, which is going to be payable on June the 12th. But you have to own this stock by the ex-dividend date, which is 5/18. So you have to have this stock by around the 16th or 17th. You got to buy that stock so you'll be on record. So you have bought it before the ex-dividend date. Then you got a record date after that. So we'll see if I buy any. I would buy 100 shares. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. Because they're also spinning off their healthcare. I don't know how sure that's going to affect their earnings, but they're going to be a new entity when they spin off this healthcare. I think it's like 25% of the total of 3M's earnings and things. So you're taking that away, because things will be dropping because you spin off a healthcare company. So I heard somebody say like $25 billion taken away from 3M. So I'm still thinking about it. I ain't bought it yet. The social sentiment, 72% people are bullish on 3M. The average for this sector is 68.3. You know, 3M's in the consumer non-cyclicals. It's a consumer goods conglomerate. And the average price target is $120.61. And it's currently at $100.87. So it may have a $19 move ahead of it, but you know, these are all 1 year price targets. They're not like a week away or 2 weeks away. That's just what they think it might be next year at this time. It could go to $130 and wind back out $120 by this time next year, and that would still be a correct statement for a price target. Price targets are always a year out. So the big news today, I guess, is Disney reporting today. And then how the Airbnb had a great quarter. And this continues with numerous earnings I'm seeing, that they have great earnings and they forecast lower guidance. And I saw one yesterday. They expected the guidance to be $42 billion, but they guided 35 to 45. So if you take the mean average of 35 to 45, that would be 40. And they've expected 42 billion versus 40 billion that their company's program. They took the stock crazy down. And I'm going to say it again. If you have done your research and you have a good stock, the beta number is low and the price to earnings, in my opinion, is below 25, you go to 30 if you want to. Earnings per share, pays a quarterly dividend. And it's been paying a dividend for years. It might be a stock not to sell. Don't get caught up, because I'm long term, so don't get caught up in buying stocks when they're going up. Like if you had bought it this morning, you're probably screwed, because the market went up 200 points, and then it went all the way, it went reversed, lost to 200, it gained, then another 300. That's a 500 point reversal from plus 200 to minus 300. And now it's going from minus 300, and now if I'm looking at the Dow, let me hit the refresh button to get the current number, it's back into positive. So plus 1. The NASDAQ still 147 and the S&P 500 is 24. So this is like 19 minutes ago before the close. So the Dow may eke out a gain. I don't know. Not doing all that great. So, but anyway, there's a lot of negative sentiment in the market still. Between the recession people, the bears, the bulls, the debt ceiling, and they were talking about the market's just going sideways, and that's basically true. If you look at the S&P 500, it's going sideways between 3,900 and 4,150. Right now it's at 4,143. It's just been a narrow trading range. There's not much conviction. Nobody seems to want to be buying anything. They're not really selling anything. You like the regional banks, they're all down, or not all, most of them are down. And it's not because there's a huge amount of selling. It's just there's not any buying. So if you have more people selling than you do buying, it's just like the average volume. Here's a good example. The average volume for TFC, which is a stock I own, which is a financial company located in the Southeast. This average volume in the last 10 days, 18,100,000 shares. And here we are with 15 minutes ago before the market closes, and the volume's at 9,473,000. Almost 9 million shares less than what it normally would be. So that was their point, that the market there's no conviction to go up or down. So speaking of TFC, since I have it up here on the screen, there's 2 buys, 1 equal weight, a hold, and a neutral. So yeah, that's the one I've bought several times. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, the ex-dividend on that will be tomorrow. So today's the last day you can buy this stock. And the time you see this video, the market will be closed unless you dine after hours if you particularly want to pick this up, because it is down 68 cents today to 27.91.5 cents. So, and of course tomorrow, since they're paying out a 52-cent dividend, tomorrow's the ex-dividend date, this stock will be down 52 cents at the open, because they will, every time you pay out a dividend, the stock price goes down by that much. So if it hangs out at say 27.92 and they take away 52 cents tomorrow, open up at 27.40. And if it has a bad day, I'll buy some more tomorrow. But if it goes up, you'll see it down tomorrow morning because they paid a dividend out, or it's subtracted away from the stock price tomorrow. That's why it's called ex-dividend day. And then they're going to pay a dividend that's payable on June 1st. So, all righty. We got the producer price index coming up. I believe it's tomorrow or Friday. I'm not sure. That can move the market too, because we talked about that. And I believe the last video said something about we got past CPI. That was my bad. I meant to say unemployment report, when we had the job numbers were way over 200,000. The other things that were up there, that was actually jobs. But we got through the CPI day. It was actually really good. So we will see if that carries through the market. Right now, the Dow's now plus 4 points, and NASDAQ 150, S&P 525 with 15 minutes to go. So we'll probably come back on one more time this week. I don't know if it'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, one of these days. What craziness I see coming up. So stay the course and do your due diligence when it comes to which stock you want to buy, because like I said, it is a stock picker's market for sure. So appreciate you guys listening. Have a great week.